Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Here we are, game number 2 now, this best of 3 series, StarLadder League Invitational Season number 5, the CIS Final. So again, the winner of this, advancing on to the main event, and right now, FlyToMoon is up 1-0 over Vega Squadron in this best of 3. So win here, of course, secures that. Vega Squadron wins, we go to a game 3. It's really as simple as that. I'm BreakyCPK, joined by Pod once again, and we're just about to get things started as far as the first pick goes, but already seeing a little bit different bands coming out. We have the Dark Willow taken away by Vega so far, and they also happen to ban the Gyrocopter, by the way, with one of the initial 3 bans, which didn't happen last game. Instead, he was banned with the next tier ban. So definitely a little bit different so far.
Yeah, and Razor or Omni Knight both not touched yet early on. Usually you see at least one of them early on in the first banning phase. We have the Willow Bound Knight by Vega, which is probably, we don't want to give you the tools we just lost with. Because I'm fairly certain that FlyToMoon just could pick up the Willow and just completely run over. We both know what a hero Willow is. No Lone Druid ban either, so that might come out again. That was exciting. I want to see more Lone Druid actually coming out. Jen and Enchantress both bound out as well, so no heavy ganking early on.
Well, interesting about the Lone Druid, I was looking back actually as Abaddon's the third and final ban from FlyToMoon. And sure enough, in the Dream League event, Fnatic as well. Fnatic, for the most part, did run it several times, and actually, they did go the Helm the Dominator build, Eternal Envy playing it. So, like I said, if anything, you know, in that event, it was seen, but it was still mostly the bear build, from what I could tell. So the whole, not only going Helm of the Dominator, but then eventually the ranged build was still pretty unique stuff from FlyToMoon right there, from Silent specifically playing it. So, but it was fun to see, and obviously proved to be the right decision in the long run for them. But Tiny is going to be our first pick, and the response already of Rubik, though, for FlyToMoon. He's proved to be useful for them last game.
Yeah, we saw always want to play the Rubik last time, and I must say that looked so solid that I see not a single reason not picking it up once more. Just his steals were on the Guardian Angel as well as the Repellent or Anti-Purification. He basically took the entire Omni Knight toolkit out of Vega's armchair and just utilizing it for themselves. That went so well. No surprise we're going to see him here once more. Still wonder if they want to go with the Deuce support now, or go with something. Nope, it's the Bounty Hunter. What was the way to say? A little bit too slow now.
Earth Spirit.
Earth Spirit.
Lots of rocky heroes.
Yeah. Bounty Hunter, I want to say he was initially... No, he was actually second tier ban last game, but so FlyToMoon making the decision to not let that happen this time around, so getting the Bounty Hunter, and we all know about Bounty Hunter, it's just one of those heroes that it feels like either can do very well for you and lead you to victory because of all the track kills that start adding up, or is kind of just a nuisance and is frankly not doing much. It's kind of like the extremes on either side, so obviously they're hoping for the latter, or the more successful one, but let's see how it is this time.
This is due to the fact that if you have a Bounty Hunter and you have even a slight lead, you're not losing that lead unless you colossally screw up in the team fights. However, if you play from a position where you're behind, the Bounty Hunter is practically a glorified ward that can also call off guard. It's a little bit better with the change how the gold works, so if you play from behind on the Bounty Hunter, you don't give away as much gold anymore. But it's still not ideal to fall behind with him. Against heroes like Tiny Earth Spirit, I see a lot of potential burst potential. Tiny really doesn't care that much about the Bounty Hunter gagging in. He can always turn around and just deal a colossal amount of damage on him. It's a little bit of a risky pick going for the Bounty Hunter, I would say. I wonder what they're gonna pair it up with. Ideally, they want to dodge the Tiny lane and put something really strong against him.
Yeah, and also matters, where is Tiny gonna end up with that set? Obviously Tiny safe lane, Tiny off lane. Feel like this hero can end up really anywhere, even mid lane. Hell, even support if they really want to. But with the Earth Spirit, probably not going to be support. It's just a matter of, again, what lane ends up going to. So the 5th ban, already dipping into a lot of reserve time, down to 40 seconds here for FlyToMoon. They went with the Ancient Apparition. Something like a Disruptor comes to mind, but they're going to be an Underlord instead for now. But yeah, thinking of a nice pairing with the Earth Spirit again as far as support goes. Witch Doctor's still there. Actually, wouldn't be surprised to see him coming out.
I would like to see the Disruptors, so they have something else to relocate heroes with. Also having that instant silence, but ideally they also want an answer for the always on the fly Rubik, because that really was a key factor in the last game. So maybe going for something less aggressive. We could see the Warlock again,
Radiant
actually.
team pick.
Just having that big spell wasn't a big of a problem last time. I didn't think Golem was stolen even once. It was always the Guardian Angel. What do I want to go for? Like, I feel like they can go for pretty much any support and it will be fine just because they have tiny Earth Spirits set up already as the roaming potential or as the kill
10
potential.
seconds remaining.
And they just need a support that can babysit the carry a lot.
5 seconds remaining.
Interesting Night Stalker ban. You know, they already have the Bounty Hunter, so I guess this goes back to that a lot of guys were saying in the first draft. I feel like this is like an in-meta here with these two teams against one another. I mean, I guess
Dire
Flight of the
team
Moon maybe
pick.
recently played a core Night Stalker against them, so they don't want that to happen again, so
Radiant team
they
pick.
ban it out, and there's the
It's the
Beastmaster
Witch Doctor.
into the Witch Doctor, yeah. A little more
So
aggressive.
they keep off the light. That would have been a great combination. Just go tiny Coddle, as they kind of do offline. Rotate with the Earth Spirit. Banning out Night Stalker, always having vision on the Bounty Hunter, but a little bit too squishy against the heroes. So
10
Witch Doctor is
seconds
instead.
remaining.
That's good burst potential if we see something like a Tide coming out or
5
whatnot,
seconds
just to have
remaining.
additional magic damage.
Yeah, so Flying to the Moon. Speaking of Coddle, good synergy with the Beastmaster, but obviously it'd be pretty tough to fit into this lineup at this point, so wouldn't expect that. Again, not the most time to work with, though, so going to need to figure out what their safe lane and mid options are going to be. So far, go back to Lifestealer.
Dire team
Feels
pick.
like he potentially could be pretty strong. And
Razor.
Razor, also pretty strong.
Radiant team ban.
Coming out here.
I speak for the trees.
That's a bold move going for the Nature's Prophet as a Bounty Hunter and a Beastmaster in the field. Rubik has a stun available as well, and not too good against the Razor either, so bad. That must be, they have something in mind. They're gonna share us with their 5th pick from outside of Vega.
10
I like it.
seconds
I
remaining.
like Nature's Prophet in general, but feels like it's a bit
5
too greedy.
seconds
And with the
remaining.
Razor coming out, you're now looking at one
Dire
physical
team
damage
back.
core, plus a tiny, means you can't really initiate on fights as much. Yeah, FlyToMoon banned out a Lycanthrope, so we'll see. Maybe they pick it up themselves, but not with Nature's Prophet on the board. It feels like Vega wants to go for a full push with the last pick.
10
Terrorblade is in the pool.
seconds remaining.
That he is. You always got to be thinking of him as an
5
option.
seconds
But
remaining.
Nature's Prophet has been interesting for me. Like I said, I casted China Dota last week for basically the full week there of another qualifier, and Nature's Prophet was actually being picked up as a support, as a position 5 or even position 4 support pretty much every game. I know the NA scene has been doing that as well a little bit. Now, I'm not suggesting that's going to be the case here because they already have a Witch Doctor Earth Spirit, but that has been the more recent trend, funny enough. But they are going to go back to a core Nature's Prophet. Again, that's where he ends up, though, right? You probably expect the offlane with the tiny safe lane at this point, but... Or maybe the tiny
I
mid?
think well, it could be a tiny mid, but I feel like it's going to be offlane tiny Earthspit roaming around. Nature's Prophet solo on the safe lane and then go for stuff like a Shadow Fiend mid maybe. Go really aggressive. The Nature's Prophet is their toolkit to pair up against the Bounty Hunter. Whenever there's a gang coming in, they have Nature's Prophet as well. Or if the Earth Spirit finds a target, you can TP as well. So he has a lot of potential TP targets already. Lots of passive synergy, you could say, in the Vega lineup. There's that one big combo piece we're missing. Wonder if they actually want to go full late game with something like a Medusa coming out, potentially. It's gonna be a hard
Dire
sell with the
team
Beastmaster
pick.
on board.
Radiant
Tinker
team
bound
pick.
out.
I was going to say...
It is the Terrorblade.
Yeah, when you ban Tinker like that, you're picking Terrorblade. Tinker's very good
Yeah.
against Terrorblade, obviously, so that was a snap reaction there from Vega. So now Fly to the Moon. They do not have the most time to think about this now. What do they
10
get against
seconds
Terrorblade?
remaining.
Could see the Lina coming out again for FlyToMoon. Just run the Razor on
5
your safe lane,
seconds
Beastmaster
remaining.
off lane, pick the Lina and just go full aggressive. You have a natural amount of pushing power with the Beastmaster. Razor not too shabby either with the Bounty Hunter looking for targets behind towers. But no, it's the
You may
Chaos
now select your
the
heroes.
one-hit hero.
One-hit hero. Against Terrorblade, though, deflection as well as the high armor that he does have. Now, obviously, Chaos Knight brings that Reality Rift to minus the armor, Razor's Eye of the Storm, so kind of a give and take there. Yeah, the last pick, Chaos
I like it.
Knight.
They have a natural amount of high minus armor. Razor Ultimate is one factor, which you can get close to the Terrorblade Chaos Knight has minus armor, Bounty Hunter probably going into that Solar Crest to reduce it even further, and you can always amplify your magic damage with the Rubik. So they have a lot of damage output. Beastmaster Aura is going to help them against this Terrorblade. However, I don't see the absolute clear answer to like the Witch Doctor Ultimate or like to the Tiny just eliminating one of your supports. I feel like Undershock is going to look for targets, and if he finds Nofi or the Rubik with Always on a Fly on it, he's just going to annihilate one of them in the fight, and you get in a position where you fight 4 versus 5 in the team fights. And while Chaos Knight is really good at that, Terrorblade has the same to say. He's probably going to be dodging fights quite a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it does end up being the tiny mid, but again, Bounty Hunter, like you were even suggesting there, it's just from the very beginning, it does feel like, as usual with the Bounty Hunter whenever he's in the game, that he's going to have to come through as far as his early roam and getting 6 ASAP, and then inevitably the track kills coming from that. But we are on a pause here, that's why it's taken so long. Looks like FlyToMoon needing to reconnect here, try to figure out some lag issue.
Hopefully not too long. So, can see.
Yeah,
Rubik is the last hero you want lags on. You need those spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good ones to steal as well. We see potential metamorphosis Rubik.
The Rubik, this game, yeah, it does feel, I was going to bring that up too. It's not like, again, with the Omni Knight, it's obviously going to be very, very strong always, but this game, not as powerful with a spell steal. It's still going to be okay. There's a couple things, Tiny with his Avalanche, sure, the Witch Doctor, their Cask, or even the Death Ward steal himself could be fun, but this isn't a game that screams, very obvious. There's no Burrow Strike, there's no Omni Knight, no Shikuchi, things like that. No big ultimate, frankly, either, so that's a good draft against the Rubik overall.
Unless you just go Rubik mid and you just steal Metamorphosis and be a carry. We can always see that happen, right?
No.
Oh well, I can dream.
I'm gonna bank and say that that's not going to happen this game. His passive will still be nice, decent mitigation here and for his team, but yeah, it's not the strongest Rubik game. Goes back to that, but still worthy of the first pick by FlyToMoon. By the way, guys, this is the first of 2 series. Again, after this series, we will be casting the European finals of what is Team Kingwin versus Mad Lads. That's the Cinder and Keizu and crew there, known as Mad Lads. So that should be actually really fun. Best of 3 series as well. Looking forward to that. Again, Kingwin, no doubt, a team that tends to qualify fairly often out of these European qualifiers. With, you got your big dogs, Liquid and Secret, and even OG to an extent being invited part of the time. But was OG actually in these? Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if they played in this qualifier or not. I'm double checking here real quick.
Not sure about it either.
They did not.
Right.
So I don't know if that was a case of schedule conflict or what, but yeah, they did not play in the European qualifier. So
yeah, there's so many tournaments going on right now. It's really hard to keep track of all the schedules. And
yeah,
it must be hard if you're on a really good team and you have to choose between tournaments. And it's probably really, really annoying. Like you want to play in all of them ideally.
Yeah, but
sometimes it just doesn't line up.
I mean, that's a whole discussion for another time. I mean, I've had that many of times, but it's the short of it is like at the same time, I feel like that's kind of what the point of this whole new tournament structure was supposed to be by Valve. With all the minors and majors, it was supposed to be, you weren't going to be able to compete in every event. You were going to have to choose precisely which events made sense for you to participate, and that was kind of part of the game, and perhaps allow some lesser teams to play at minors as a result. So, but yeah, that's, like I said, a whole nother discussion.
We're on the way there. Game is unpaused.
That it is. Welcome back, says Slayer. Couldn't agree more. Terrorblade, though, always a fun core hero to see. Entertaining at least, and at least for me. I kind of like Terrorblade just obviously with the Sunder interaction, and is going to get out those big Sunders in team fights. That's the... With the chaos of Chaos Knight and the Phantasm, that could be an issue too for him.
Boots and run.
Like selecting the correct target.
Yeah, just really hope it's not going to turn into Chaos Knight just utilizing the Phantasm and just one-hitting the Terrorblade down. Because I see the potential there. If they set up those mid-game ganks as soon as the Seeker gets some levels, Terrorblade is not as tanky early on if you put some minus armor to the mix. So if they get a slight lead with the Bounty Hunter, they finish up a Solar Crest, they have so much minus armor that Terrorblade will have a hard time sustaining all the amount of physical damage coming out. you always have to deal with the Razor just potentially even stealing away your own damage, so you can't rely on the Metamorphosis so much either. So he's gonna have a lot of backup from Nature's Prophet as well as
Are
the
you
Earth Spirit,
ready
just
to rumble?
making sure he doesn't get overrun.
Feeling
So they're
good,
hiding in the
man.
trees over here. It's bottom lane. Tiny Earth Spirit in the area. And No Fear is, of
30
course, at least
seconds to
scouting out
battle.
Earth Spirit for now, getting some information. And he'll place the ward as well as immediately he used, but yeah, they saw that.
They saw that, yeah, that's gonna get dewarded. It should be.
That was a pretty bold attempt. I mean, to not get seen right there, especially with the train. I don't think he saw the trains coming by, actually.
Yeah, he couldn't see them. That was a little bit unlucky on his side. Like, he had the right idea. He was juking at the vision quite well, but then random treants just coming from the base
battle
and booting it up.
begins.
We gotta talk about the mid-nature's prophet here.
Ducks
It's
in order.
something we usually don't see. I was expecting the Tiny there and then just game with Nature's Prophet off lane, but instead they're gonna put the Terrorblade solo full top now.
But look at the reaction. Yeah, so it's Beastmaster going, and I think this. I wonder if this has to do with it, where they wanted Nature's Prophet to perhaps match up against Razor in the middle lane. A better matchup for him against, obviously Tiny wouldn't deal as well with that, but now they respond with the Beastmaster. Tiny, where is Tiny? Tiny's at the bottom lane, going up against, go figure, Razor. So I think this is definitely the better for FTM here.
Yeah, FlyToMoon, they read Vega's mind, so just perfectly counting out his lanes, and not going to take long until they actually at least rotate one spot over there. That is, that's the first TP from the Witch Doctor, but I'm not sure if this is going to be enough, because CK is a hard lane to up against if you're a Terrorblade.
Yeah.
Iceberg should be able to just stay solo against Tiny and Earth, but it's 2 melee, so he should get at least his farm's worth here.
Always intrigued to see that early Metamorphosis form from a Terrorblade. Currently doesn't have anything leveled actually just yet, so waiting to respond. Is he TPing? Yeah, Nature's Prophet coming bottom. And actually, they're going to make a play on Iceberg. Just a little bit of damage, no kill, but say hello. And so Tiny rotates mid, and yeah, the question now is, does FTM respond to this? Did they send Razor mid? And then maybe Beastmaster bottom.
I don't think we are going to see a swap from FlyToMoon simply because you're up against the Nature's Prophet. He's gonna, yeah, he has 2 TPs instead of 1. Iceberg going dangerously low here.
Oh yeah, he's being run down, isn't he? And actually, one more auto attack should do it. It's just Prophet with those boots. First blood coming out for Blizzy. No Blightstone or Orb of Venom or anything like that. Just simply boots to run him down.
That should help.
Yeah, he needs supports anyways. Just run him down. It's just a Razor. It's not like he's fast or something.
Boots change that a bit. Outruns him for now. Always want to fly. He's got the Maledict on him. I don't think he's dying here. Yeah, it's level 1 Maledict, not the most damage. Slayer going to make sure to get as much damage as possible, though. And eventually force him
No boots
back.
on him though.
Nah, not worth the chase.
Wonder if we've seen ambitious TP from the Nature's Prophet in the base, but he's a little bit too tanky, but he has face boots, so
Oh, true.
do it.
Yeah,
Do
that.
it.
Oh, is he going for
Come
it?
on.
No, he's TPing middle. He's going middle,
Oh, yeah,
actually.
they
They
get
want to kill
committed
Razor. Now, that Link is going to mitigate a lot of damage from Tiny. Will it be enough? Boulder Smash hits. It's enough damage. That was
No,
close.
face boots.
Leaving so soon.
Even spotting No Fear with the rotation coming in, so the bottom lane is vacant for the next few seconds. Angrata is rotating to the bottom lane. He has a good amount of levels in the Beastmaster up already, but they're really shutting this Razor down so far, and he can't really find a lane he can stay in, I would say.
Yeah.
He's up against the Nature's Prophet one more, and he's 2 levels ahead of him. Iceberg is level 2 on the Razor. Well, now he's 3, but
He's under leveled,
Still.
yes. Terribly top lane. He got pulled in right there, but just simply harassing with some damage. Haven't seen the Metamorphosis come out just yet, so good 3 minutes plus into this game. Level 2 Metamorphosis currently. Bottom lane, Tiny. Nope, just Bounty Hunter in the area. Don't think much is going to come from that. But yeah, definitely the more correct decision for Nature's Prophet, I think it's safe to say, rather than go for the base snipe. Go middle and set up a kill on Razor, of course, and now transition nicely, as we see. The lanes here. As Tiny, yeah, he's feeling good bottom lane against
my
Beastmaster now.
enemies
Just
pay.
Vega Squadron continues to be the ones ahead as far as the movement goes, and it's showing early on.
yeah, I feel like they also have the better mid game if it comes to that. Nature's probably really good at it. Terror is struggling a little bit in comparison with the last two. It's just slightly behind. Mongrata, however, is the only hero that's actually getting a lot of farm. Ooh, nice block of the egg.
It's not going to be enough damage, though. TP's out.
Half a
Well
second
played.
on the wild axis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would have finished it, wouldn't it? So, just not in time. Slayer, middle lane, or in the middle area. Nature's Prophet will TP in, if anything, try to save him. Out comes the Link, though, and now it's Blizzy the one that's in trouble, perhaps. Now he's being blocked, however, by all those trees. No fear. Thought about going in, going to take some tower damage,
On the
though.
block.
Oh, that block. Yeah, that's beautiful. It's not enough, though. Is it? Phase boots? Get killed by Ancients. Nope. Blizzy
Takes
takes it.
face boots, 3 kills. And he's going for the drums. So face drums Nature's Prophet early on when he gets the lead is insanely hard to deal with because he has so much movement between the damage output and he can block you so easily, especially because he has level 3 in the treants already, meaning he has full treants as potential substitute for damage. Even if there's a Razor on the field, he will deal a lot of damage. They really don't have the heroes early on to run away from the side of FlyToMoon. They have a Bounty Hunter, and that is about it.
I was going to say, Chaos Knights having a pretty good time top lane, but as I say that, they're going to rotate in 4 men. There's that Metamorphosis, an easy kill on a CK. So Vega Squadron just doing exactly what they need to be doing early on here in game number 2. And they address the free farming, what seemed to be Chaos Knight at that top lane. Also get a kill for Terrorblade. Nice little fight for them there. And again, 4-0 now. Now, the net worth, it's under 1,000 lead, so it's not overwhelming. You not only have CK still farming pretty well, but Beastmaster is actually doing very well bottom lane too. And we know that he could start to make some plays with the help of the Dominator, especially push objectives. What was that? That was top lane. Oh wow, they killed Terrorblade. Apologies.
Yeah, having the Bounty Hunter actually timing out the Metamorphosis and getting a free kill there. That's nice to have. That's a Terrorblade you get for free. So it is a patient hit.
Yeah, they're blocking him in here. Maledict, that should help secure it. If anything, Slayer going to be turned though. So it will be a 1-for-1 this time, but still, Vega satisfied with the outcome. This Nature's Prophet 4-0-1 now. Those drums are coming very quickly to go with phase boots.
You don't have mana for roll.
No.
He's done for.
Get him taken out.
Radiant's
Blizzy
bottom
though,
tower
he
is
wants
under
revenge
attack.
and actually might get it. Cask's done. No Maledict though, can't get in range. Always want to fly. He is going. Oh, Wrath of Nature.
Vision.
Nope.
Oh, the nice dodge.
The jukes. Just keeping out of vision there. Well played by Rubik.
That
He
was
managed
so
to
well on
escape.
predicting it.
Yeah.
It's also Nature's Prophet all down for the kind for practically nothing.
Oh, that was bottom lane. All right, Tiny and Earth Spirit coming together to address that Beastmaster.
Jumps complete on the NP, and they're going to on Silent Knight.
Phantasm used for this. Chaos Knight did not expect the NP, though. Out come the drums. And now it's once again Silent, the one that's in trouble. Always want to fly, doing what he can. Maledict not going to finish off CK. At least for the time being. The trees, though, still in here. And actually find vision for Nature's Prophet to allow for the finish. Onto the Maledict tick down. Here comes Nungrata. Primal Roar is ready.
Radiant's
Will he
bottom
find the
tower
opportunity?
is
Maybe on
under
Nature's
attack.
Prophet. That'd be a big bounty kill, but no, he's too fast. Said that many times before.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Once again. Oh, Dire Curry. Whoa, that's a Soul Ring, actually. Killed on the courier.
Start the
Radiant's
Remote
bottom
down.
tower is under
Not
attack.
sure. Was that a bounty? Bounty
should be.
spotted.
It should be. Yeah, it should be. Oh, yeah, it was Bounty and bottom. No fear. Just cutting off on the shotgun. Cutting his TP as well. So annoying to deal with. Just,
Iceberg?
if you can't get kills, at least be annoying.
Yeah. And Iceberg's going to be fine middle lane this time. Well, for now. He's actually thinking
Radiant's
about turning, but with Tiny coming in now. Iceberg linking some damage. Earth Spirit runs out of it, though. Avalanche going to be missed. Boulder Smash push actually saved him right there initially. The Shrine pop? Yes, he's going to be able to pop it. They take out Earth Spirit. And now Blizzy. Can he TP in time? No. Shuriken stops it initially. Do they have another stopper? They do not. Oof. That would have been a huge bounty kill. Oh, they gets found with a Primal Roar, though. He TP'd right into Beastmaster. And Beastmaster gets 475 bounty gold. And what was such a strong start for Vega Squadron, after what just happened these last 30 seconds, it's all of a sudden good for Fly to the Moon. Pretty good for them.
Dire's structures are
Oh, yeah, it
fortified.
looked more like a panic TP, just going up to the rage pit instead of the base. I think you could just safely TP back home and just finding a random Beastmaster. I mean, he's gotta be really good on Nungrata here. He just got a double kill, like, he only wanted 1 kill, and then he finds a Primal Roar with a big streak. He's gonna look for a medallion, or he should be on the courier any moment. Yeah, there it is. He's gonna be so well off, and now they have a medallion on the Beastmaster, actually, against the Terrorblade coming out. Urn is about to finish soon for the bounty hunter as well, so they have all the tools in the drawer to deal with this Terrorblade early on. This sends Vega back quite a lot.
Well, this could set them back further. Lift into CK. Chaos Bolt, Reality Rift. He's tanky. Avalanche might be enough. Just out of range. Another auto attack. The Orb of Venom and oh my god, he lived for so long there. But Undershock finally will go down. Rubik, credit for the kill. You know, I was also looking at CK, and again, he had the early free farm. Got killed a couple of times, though, but curious what his item choice was going to be. And it seems like it's pretty typical. To go in the armlet right here is silent.
Yeah, that's probably the right call, considering it's a Terrorblade on the field. You don't necessarily need to go for any more aggressive items. Like, Armored is just good and gives you everything you want on the CK, so most standard build, you would say. He's not needed with a Blink Dagger and not with Beastmaster on the field for the spanking.
Well, they're looking for a kill on him now. Wrath of Nature even coming through. Rubik's nearby. The toss, though, the tree throw. Silent puts the stun on Earth Spirit, but with the TP in for Blizzy, successfully get the kill. And they're going to find Rubik as well. So a couple of kills coming out for the Dire team right here. Meanwhile, with the Roshan area, they pick off Witch Doctor. Bounty Hunter in the area. But Bounty Hunter not level 6 just yet, so we're not seeing the track kills necessarily coming out, but at least Fly to the Moon gets something in response. Beastmaster with that medallion. So no Helm of the Dominator, though. Instead going medallion into the Shadow Blade at this point. What is your take on that?
I like that a lot.
Yeah, you like it?
I like it a lot because they really lack the damage to bring down the Terrorblade, so they're planning ahead on actually just completely cancelling him out. They don't necessarily need to commit to early pushes. Nature's Prophet will always cut them out on the other side of the map. So instead they skip the Dominator, they go for more fighting build. If they win the fight, you probably have a little bit left on the Phantasm to just push up Taris. Beastmaster is great. He's amazing with Dominator. But if you have a fighting lineup, you might as well skip it.
Well, CK. Yeah, they're gonna find Nature's Prophet, but yeah, great tree block by AMP. And keep himself alive here
as well.
Earth Spirit, and might set up the turn kill. Phantasm going to be canceled initially. Magnetize comes out. There's the Phantasm use. In response, going on a tiny. Maldex is up, though. CK is definitely down right here, it feels like. Just a matter how much damage he outputs in the end. He finally goes down the Reality Rift, pulling on Undershock. The follow-up, though, is not enough. They do not have Beastmaster here. And it goes without saying they probably needed him. Earth Spirit rolls in, kind of whiffs, but they take out Bounty Hunter. Iceberg. Can he escape? No, the Sprout connects. Here comes Beastmaster, pretty late to the party. Gonna throw those Wild Axes, though. Maybe run down at least Primal Roar on Earth Spirit. So he's gonna get one kill. Not the most ideal target, though, for him to take out. And, ew, that's a lot of damage, but not enough.
Yeah, especially with Medallion.
So the response finally came out from Beastmaster, but yeah, him not being there initially clearly hurt Fly to the Moon's chances. Well played by Vega, though.
Yeah, well played, and just Razor gets stuck in the river after the fight. It's just they fall from a really disadvantage. First they get kited out with the smoke gang coming in from the jungle. Then they fight in the position where they're between a T1 tower they can't retreat to, and a high ground coming in from here. So there's really no chance they could escape this fight. They were backed up by a river and a T1 tower. Just fighting, getting a CK killed by a phenomenal tree and block once more. I must say, Blizzy is playing extremely well on the Nature's Prophet so far.
Yeah.
He's sitting at 6 kills, 6 and 1. Just imagine if he hadn't died, he would have had the Orchid by now almost.
Oh, 6-1.
Once that comes out?
Oh, yeah. That's going to be huge. And 6-1 and 6, by the way. So he's been involved in all 12 kills for Vega Squadron, which is pretty ridiculous.
100%.
Radiant's top tower
And it's basically averaging a kill per minute, too, at this rate. Just hitting the 13-minute mark now. So yeah, I think it's safe to say Nature's Prophet proving his worth big time this game. Terrorblade trying to prove his worth. He's looking to finish a Yasha now after the Ring of Acula, so farming out middle lane, but bottom lane, it'll be heavily pushed in by Fly to the Moon. Tier 1 tower is going to be exchanged here, it looks like. Either side. Dire team may want to defend this, though. Witch Doctor's already here. Tiny, Earth Spirit.
Dire's structures are
Is this for the better? Undershock open. CK gets exploded off the bat. He doesn't have Phantasm. He's going to be tied right here once again. He got the Reality Rift off at least, and they're going to take out Nature's Prophet. So nice turn kill already, and going to be more. They take out Witch Doctor. Earth Spirit and Tiny will be fine. So yeah, that seemed like an ambitious defense there. Now they killed CK, which was nice. But oh, they're actually going to kill Iceberg too. He tried to TP in their face. They kill the tower. The Undershock wasn't enough upfront damage. They do eventually kill him, but he loses his own life, and now Earth Spirit's going to be run down and very likely sniped out. That's a Maledict stolen by Rubik. applied to
Radiant's
him.
middle
Kill,
tower
actually.
is under attack.
No fear. No, oh, armlet.
Dire's bottom
Ah, not
tower
armlet,
is under
medallion.
attack.
Extra armor.
Yeah. And those were track kills, by the way. At least one of them, if not multiple. So.
Yeah, which means it definitely favors FlyToMoon. Yeah, they get a 2k gold lead, 2 for 4 trade. As well, they lost both their cores. Was pretty scary how Sion just got
seeds of
deleted.
fortune.
He's a bit sad, I would say, because you get nothing out of this fight. But he has his armlet, so this should not happen in the future.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, Vega managed to claim another T1 in the mid lane with the Terror Blade, but I feel like if they had the Terror Blade in that fight, even with a Metamorphosis, even if he doesn't do as much damage, just his sheer presence would have been enough, because Blizzy TP'd into the fight over here and just immediately got deleted, just like the CK was.
Yeah. So the quick turns on either side. Both teams definitely have plenty of burst, and Bounty Hunter goes back to as well. He's level 7 now, so look for track kills and may find another opportunity here on Nature's Prophet top lane. CK's coming in. There's the open. Can he get a range? That Reality Rip, it never ceases to amaze me, the range on that. However, the support is here for Nature's Prophet, including Tiny and Earthspear. They finally get the kill, and now Karada joins the party late as well with the proper reward to take out Tiny. So it seemed like a potential turn. Ends up being a 2 for nothing and could be more. Remember, track kills on top of this, adding up that much better for FTM. The Wild Axes, they're going to run down Slayer. Earth Spirit will manage to roll out, preventing a track kill there. But a double kill for Iceberg, and they're going to push this tier 2 top now.
It's 3 for nothing with 1 track kill at least. That's huge for them. And as you mentioned, they're gonna take another tower. Phantasm is committed, so this is the fishing time. Beastmaster with Phantasm. CK can go for full damage this game, and he's going for double instincts, so just more and more damage. They're gonna claim this T2. They might even go a little bit more further if they see TPs coming out on other lanes.
Well,
They feel a little bit adventurous.
yeah, I mean, they have a Necronomicon level 2.
Dire's top
Beastmaster
tower
actually didn't
is
even
under
use it that
attack.
whole fight. So I was wondering if they potentially were going to, but it seems like, well, they're in the area
Dire's top
still. No
tower
Fear's at least
is
scouting. They're going to find the Witch Doctor at least. And should successfully get the kill on him, but at what cost now? The turn is here once again. Bounty Hunter, he goes down. Magnetize ticking down Silent. Going to try for that ambitious TP. The Metamorphosis, not enough damage. The TP works for now. Rubik, he's dead. No matter how long it takes. Still think the Radiant's fairly happy with that.
Right.
That was a lot invested there by Vega to
Dire's
get the 2
middle
support
tower
kills.
is under attack.
Yeah, but even though it was a track kill on the Witch Doctor, they still managed to claim a little bit of a goldie there because they're a little bit behind. It was a good idea. Sadly, again, it was Slayer falling on the Witch Doctor, not having the best game so far. But that's to be expected on the Witch Doctor. I mean, he has 4 kills, don't get me wrong. It's actually CK with the lowest stats, 0, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kinda always gets killed, so no wonder he just uses armor and TP's out.
Yeah, it's been definitely a struggle for him, and you mentioned the Echo Saber he's trying to get next. I don't know if BKB is that strong in this game. It's okay against supporting cast, and even Tiny, of course, so I'm wondering if does he maybe... Part of me almost wants to say he might going BKB now over the Echo Saber. Do they need that damage from him, you think?
Yeah, that might go for the BKB. I'm not too sure because looking at the network chart, it's only the
middle tower is
Beastmaster
under
really
attack.
having the lead over Vega right now.
Yeah.
So the Terror Blade is always going to stay ahead and farm, especially because they prioritize it so much. He's about to finish up the Manta style, so once he goes
Dire's
tanky, what do you do with your
middle tower has
CK?
fallen.
He's not about to reach level 20 anytime soon, so we might even see BKBs coming out. Nature's Prophet would be a prime target after the Orchid finished up.
Oh, Beastmaster with the Medallion, Necronomicon, the army. They're going to go for an easy Roshan here. They're going to take it. Who did they give the Aegis to? The Razor, you think? Or actually Beastmaster?
I would say Iceberg. I think you want it on the Razor. Might put it on the Beastmaster just because it's in the frontline
Roshan
spread,
has fallen to the
but he
Radiant.
almost denied the Aegis.
That would have been awkward.
Yeah, he clicked on the Doctoral Summoner from the Beast, had the deny animation, then retargeted and almost denied it.
Done that before.
That would have been really awkward. That smoke rotation.
Yeah,
They have deleting power. They're baiting so good with the Nature's Prophet in the full third.
Dire are scanning.
No fear.
They smell something here.
They're going to be scanned out by the Dire, but yeah, that's I agree. Great patience by FlyToMoon. They easily could have jumped that Nature's Prophet and seen the turn come, so.
They would have lost at least 4 there if they jumped on Nature's Prophet because the setup was perfect for Vega, but just having a little bit more game sense and not falling for it. I believe that's due to the fact that the teams know each other so well, so they probably expected something
Dyer's
down. They
middle
have seen that
tower is
movement
under
before.
attack. Radiant's bottom tower
Nature's
is
Prophet,
under
he's going to
attack.
TP towards the top. I
Radiant
think he might be trying to snipe a
structures are
courier
fortified.
even, as also perhaps going to ward down. Yeah, quick place out there. So get some vision, but the
Radiant's
tier 2
bottom
middle
tower
is
is
falling.
falling.
Tier 2 bottom does go down for Vega
Dyer's middle tower
more
is under
trading
attack.
coming out
Dyer's
here.
middle tower has fallen.
on either side. CK does have the Echo Saber now finished, so he's enhanced a bit. It's got to be feeling good. Skipping it all together.
Blink Dagger next. That's interesting. We see Blink Dagger coming out on the Beastmaster as well. They go for a smoke gang. No vision either, so the faint retreat.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, it is one of those games I could go back to. I mean, I kind of understand why he's not going for BKB priority. It was more of like a reaction event because of the struggle of the start, and it could be enough to help him get back in this game and set up kills for the team. But this also does that, to be fair. Having that blink, being able to jump in Reality Rift, and allow Beastmaster right now, and the Razor for that matter, to deal the damage that you're looking for. So they're relying on him. Oh, Terrorblade.
That's the last hero you want to lose early on in the fight.
Rubik going to be spotted. They're committing right here. The Boulder Smash does hit, and they are going to kill off the Rubik. But now Earth Spirit, he's being taken out. Reality Rift buyback, by the way, coming out from Rubik pretty quickly. Terrorblade being locked on, going to get the center off. Yes, he gets it off on a Beastmaster. BM saw that come, and the cat's passing over to him. He's turning, though. Popping the Wild Axes on the uphill. Palatinos gets pulled back in and eventually taken out. They're also going to lose Tiny and Witch Doctor. A 4-for-0. Well, 4-for-1 with the Rubik buyback. Razor managed to barely survive. Oh, never mind. The cool finish him. But that's an Aegis use, and a well worthwhile Aegis use coming out.
No fear.
This is not happening.
Alright.
Radiant's
Never
middle
mind.
tower
I mean,
is
there's
under
only one
attack.
hero up. Might as well. He almost got the kill Sunday on the Nature's Prophet, but yeah, full team wipe coming out, and that was so well set up. They got the Rubik, actually bought back, but we saw Iceberg just running into the fight, and with all the Amplify coming out from the Beastmaster, he had no problem just hitting down the Terrorblade. Terrorblade's armor got annihilated there.
Yeah, he was playing defensive that whole time, really. Other than the initial explosion on Rubik. He was trying to run, he popped the Sunder, and it looked like, well, Vega, they were running after Beastmaster, but BM went uphill and then turned with the Wild Axes, and you could tell Terrorblade realized, wait a second, I'm low once again. And it was just a lost cause.
They didn't even utilize the Primal Roar as much. It's really only the damage amplification he brings to the table. It's the Wild Axes that's doing so much damage on the Terrorblade together with the Medallion. Razor is really good if the enemy's weak. Also, Silent didn't die for once in a fight. That's good for them.
Yeah.
He was trying to find farm, but now he's out of the Nature's Prophet. He's closing in, homing in more likely on the Terrorblade in terms of net worth. And once he comes online, they really need those mid-game fights because CK is really bad at farming in that mid-game. Because you have the big issue now. You can't really flash farm the jungle as much.
Well, Bounty Hunter scouts Tiny down here. Puts a track up, and Tiny, he decides to run away, but the Chaos Bolt connects now, and that's going to be a track kill. Well, good find by No Fear on the Bounty Hunter.
Track raw kill. 6k gold lead as well.
Yeah. Oh, they find a Witch Doctor, trying to TP out. Gets caught by the lift of Rubik. And eventually a double kill for Non-Grata on the Beastmaster, who does have the blink now, of course. He's also just about level 18, so the level 3 Primal Roar going to be happening too, making it a 4-second stun. Yeah, this CK is definitely recovered, and again, he's still not necessarily the biggest damage dealer, but with the Reality Rift, he applies a stun. Obviously, the Phantasm Army, he's doing plenty for the team.
Yeah, this should be a
Dyer's
2-3
middle
falling.
tower is under attack. Dyer's structures
I must
are
say, the
fortified.
mild criticism coming out with the warding. We see 3 aggressive wards for Vega.
You're right,
And
jeez.
actually Terrorblade falling straight up.
I'm sitting there looking at the wards with you, and all of a sudden Terrorblade gets out of the base. I wouldn't have expected, because Nature's Prophet's not even here. But man, CK is going man mode. Maybe a little bit too manly. I think he's dead here. They do finish off her Spirit. Reflection comes out. The Terrorblade with the buyback, of course. But they've already lost the melee racks, and the Radiant side is happy with retreating for now. No Fear, just going to apply a Spirit Vessel and then TP away. So, Yeah, I just wouldn't have expected initiation right there, honestly, with Nature's Prophet not even being there. But I guess CK, he just jumped in and caught him off guard.
Yeah, but, well, you said it, Nature's Prophet not being there, and this is a little bit off the theme right now for Vega. He's kind of always on the radiant side of the map when you're playing from a position where you're so far behind. With 12k up against the Bounty, you would expect a lot more defensive roles, but it seems like Vega is really trying to go full all in on this. Yeah, there. Finally, all the 3 wards paid off in their jungle, I will say.
Well, they get a courier kill, so yeah, there's something. At least coming out.
Yeah,
but...
like, he's gonna see every courier, but... Well, they just run up to the shop and buy their items and not gonna lose it in the future. And with all the stuff coming out, I feel like Vega... They need to do something. They have to bring the initiative to the table here, because that CK with the Beastmaster, they're just gonna do this again, and they're gonna run your T2 bottom. You're gonna lose that one. Nature's Prophet not in a state where he can just run around the map and try and just push towers on his own. He did go for the Shadow Blade after all against the Bounty Hunter on the side note. Now he's looking for Nullifier, so he doesn't have that damage to reliably push down towers.
Yeah,
they have to adapt to this.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, he's not going the Maelstrom, the Desolator, etc. to really push in towers. Instead, he's going for more of the pick-off, which again makes sense. But Bounty Hunter, a Shadow Blade use will prevent Nature's Prophet from getting caught there at least. And he was definitely searching. So, but looking back at Vega Squadron, this Terror Blade hasn't necessarily been the most intimidating yet in this game. But what happens they catch Tiny. Yeah, with the Promenor, BKB committed as well from Iceberg. He's just charging in, knowing they can't stop him. He wants more, but their team's not defending.
Such a good prediction. They had the ward, yeah, and Vega realizes they had the ward in the base, and they saw the Tiny just shearing out towards the shrine, and then they just utilize the Necrobug. Not only get the shrine, but also get 3 Tiny. That was so well done.
Non-Grata. Getting him Beastmaster, very key here for the success of FlyToMoon in Game 2. Both offlaners essentially for either side are doing their best to kind of carry their team, but obviously the Radiant side overall just looking better. And now 12,000. I just feel like that just explodes. Yeah, looking at the net worth chart again, track kills are to thank for that as well. But it's
not just Bounty. Bounty all over again. It's the Bounty show at this point.
Yeah.
And Beastmaster.
We're at the 91% win probability now for FlyToMoon, so.
And we all know that this is the stat that counts the most, right? The graph never lies.
Yeah.
Until it does.
Exactly. And then, you know, there's only been the one time. There was a match that I had the other day that actually had 100%. It was kind of funny. I didn't even know it could do that before the game was actually over, but only the one time. And believe it or not, the team with 100% won. So.
Ah, sad. I would have liked you could say the underdog with 0% win. That would have been cool.
Broken system. Nature's Prophet, that
Nullifier.
before. Being worked on still. Yep.
Slayer. Gonna get scudded out. He's dead. Really dead.
Radiant are
yeah, usually
scanning.
the support kills aren't the biggest deal in most games, but again, it's with the track kills, it just adds up so much more. FlyToMoon. And that's another BKB. Beastmaster. This is one of the more dominating Beastmaster performances I feel like I've seen in a while. He's wrecking.
Yeah. You mentioned with the track gold, so instead of like 100 gold you get from a user gank, you can now get 700 because of the track.
Dire's
it's just so
bottom
valuable for them. Even a Witch Doctor kill from a team that is so far behind gives so much money to them. And it's going to transition into a patient. Razor is pretty comfortable just hunting and Lizzie now.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, he's going to push out the lane at least. So that seems like the game plan here, ultimately for Vega Squadron right now, is just let Nature's Prophet be annoying, push out lanes. Roshan tier 3, no, tier 2 is up, so we see the Cheese as well as the Aegis. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if FlyToMoon looks to do that here in the near future, of course. Rather than constantly trying to run down this Nature's Prophet. Easier said than done. But not doing it just yet. No vision in the area either. Just still waiting for the right moment.
Yeah, Blizzard's just playing hide and seek with the Bounty Hunter at this point, and he has to be so careful. If he gets tracked up, he's gonna get targeted all over the map. Oh, there we go. That's great. He's falling quick. CK here. with Medallion. Yeah, he's dead.
Oh god, CK is gonna have a heart now. This is a horrible start for the CK. I think he was like 0-6 and 5, and so since then he's 2-0 and 7. So he's definitely recovered a bit. There's apparently more lag here for them, but the Roshan kill, Razor, I'm guessing. Yeah, Razor gets the Aegis. Beastmaster gets cheese. No, they give it to CK.
Yeah, they give it to CK because he can utilize so much with the heart coming out. It's practically an Aegis for him because he's not gonna get stunned up as much. There's a tiny, there might be a Witch Doctor, but you can pop the cheese between the cast bounces and the Earth Spirit. So no big stuns coming out means he's gonna have an effective health pool of like 5,000, if not 6,000, and that is with the heart. So he's gonna make a lot of space. Iceberg just finished up the Shiva as well, so they have the attack speed slow. I feel like they have all the tools to just roll over this Terrorblade. In a Terrorblade, he doesn't have as much farm anymore. He pulls ahead, but now he has a Manta and he has a Hurricane Pike, which on a Terrorblade might be enough, but you gotta run into problems if there's a Beastmaster in on the field.
Yeah, that and it would be enough maybe at like 20 minutes into the game, right? Where it's now 28, 29 minutes almost, so it's still a bit later on than would be liked. He's third in net worth, and it's kind of been the trend throughout most of this game. Whenever you have a Terrorblade that's constantly trying to just play from behind and recover as far as the net worth goes, it's not setting up to be a good game. So the struggle just continues for Vega Squadron. Not to say that it's over by any means, but I kind of go back to this Nature's Prophet build, and seeing how this game's continuing to play out now. I mean, I understand why Nullifier would be good this game to prevent, the BKBs, jump on Razor, jump on Beastmaster especially. It could be big for picking them off, but it just doesn't feel like that's the way they're going to win this game right now. It does feel like they need him to be the Rat Master, and instead go for, like I said, the Desolator, the Maelstrom, more of that just massive push. But
yeah, either go for the full Rat, or I think he did everything right up until like the Orchid, and then committing to the Shadow Blade. I feel I understand him. He wanted that movement item so he can move in the fights. Problem is he can't even get to the fights quick enough because they're so far low with all the minus armor coming out. So maybe something like a BKB on the Nature's Prophet set might be better. But I'm gonna try and kill Valenti actually.
The narrow maze with you.
oh, top lane.
That's
All
a
right.
CK.
Yeah. CK.
Almost before the heart with no cheese used. Just getting the
Dire's
Orchid
top
and
shrine is under
yeah,
attack.
they need more like this. They just need to trade like a Witch Doctor on the other side of the map and just kill the CK, I guess.
Space created, so definitely a favorable trade for Vega Squadron. But again, what can they really do with this right now? You got Terrorblade just continuing to farm,
Dire's
working
top
on the Eye
shrine
of
is
Scotty,
under attack.
which is going to be big. 2,500 plus gold saved up for him. Razor, though, 2,000 more gold saved up. He already has the Shivas now picked up. And Razor really has shot up that net worth, too. Man, he's almost 19,000 net worth. A good 3,000
Razor's
plus
always-
over Terrorblade.
Razor's always the hero
Dire's
you
top
forget
shrine
about, and then
is
you look at
under
the net
attack.
with like, oh, I guess. Hi, Razor. I must say, he's looking pretty solid as
Dire's
well. He's
top
always sitting in the
shrine
back line.
has
He's
fallen.
giving Non-Grata all the space in front, so they really focus on him. He gets chips in and gets the big static link stun on the Terrorblade, actually in all of the fights so far. So if it comes to fighting, FlyToMoon not only have the quick burst potential with the Beastmaster eliminating one in the fight, they also have to sustain team fight with the Razor, and that's a really nice combination. Vega really, they want fast fights, right? You want to go in there with your tiny, you want to eliminate somebody, and then you want to back out and reinitiate, ideally.
Top lane, not going to overall push it. They got Razor with the Aegis, but doesn't really have the team with him currently. He's going to meet up here in the middle. And the middle melee racks is already destroyed. So they're now going to head kind of back towards the top. Really just looking for that pick. They see Nature's Prophet. At least the trees pushing that bottom lane. So the game of do they try to pick him off, go bottom lane, or do they just actually push themselves with this Aegis? And the cheese picked up. I mean, what do you think? Should FTM just not really worry about an NP right now and just go for a base push, or can they not really?
I feel like they really want to play it safe. They see the Nature's Prophet, he could potentially kill Rax or at least the cheese retire. They didn't want to give Vega anything they can potentially bounce off of. They also, well, not placing the Tinker wards, but they were warding the lower high grounds on the map quite efficiently, which actually Nature's Prophet is now starting to take over himself. I feel like FlyToMoon, they want to ideally get the Nature's Prophet, or if they catch him once, they force a buyback or they force a rags. You have the added benefit, your mid lane is pushing, so you have a Beastmaster. You can always just run down the mid lane, look for targets with the bounty. If you get a pick off, you just transition from the mid towards the top or towards the bottom. After this T2 falls, of course. Then just backdoor rags, because you have a Beastmaster, you're gonna kill Tyres in no time.
See right there, they thought they had a chance on Razor, but said this before, a little bit too fast, especially with those phase boots active, 550 movement speed, so they would catch up to him. And he continues to farm 4,300 gold now saved up, so Nullifier is finished on Nature's Prophet. As he once again is going to fall back from the top lane. Well, we'll see if he's able to find that opportunity, but again, the Radiant side, you know, what's the big thing they're waiting for here? The Heart just finished on Chaos Knight. I guess Razor or whatever he decides to buy, with now 4,600 gold saved up.
Gonna bait with Blizzy here. Almost CK again.
Tanky CK. It's just him and Rubik though for the time being. And geez, no, he can't get it off in time. Too much damage in the end. So okay, Nullifier, that makes more sense. Yeah. Well, I mean, bait kinda, because they weren't really there. This is my fear though. If you're FlyToMoon, is that you're spreading yourselves out so much, trying to maybe find the picks yourself, and that it's going to allow Vega Squadron to find their own picks now.
Yeah, that's what they did with Blizzy. So Blizzy has been transitioning from the top to the bottom lane, back and forth all the time. You see with the scan top, he just goes top, he puts treants on the field, pitches or forces 3 heroes to just rotate towards his top lane, and then they do the exact opposite and smoke up in the base, go for the bottom lane, because kind of FlyToMoon, they're predicting him to be on opposite lanes all the time, so they split up their team in 2. You see it with CK +1 at bottom.
Oh no.
And just get pickled.
He just despawned on the Nullifier, did not go off in time. He pops the BKB, and actually Nature's Prophet in trouble. Bounty Hunter cannot finish him off. Here comes Undershock though, lifts him in the air, throws him down. Not enough damage though to finish the job. Palantimos, he's running after Razor. No Metaform currently in the back lines. Earth Spirit's picked off. The gem has dropped Iceberg. He's spread it up, but that's almost hurting Terrorblade. He can't get in there as he's still in that melee form. Again, no Metamorphosis, but Razor eventually gets caught up too and is going to be comboed down. And that's, you know, at the beginning of that fight, that's what I was saying uh-oh for. Because the Aegis just despawned on Razor. So Vega Squadron, again, only losing 2 supports. They kill the core Razor in the end, as well as Bounty.
That could have been such a disaster for FlyToMoon. Like you mentioned with the Aegis, the Aegis just ran out. He was sprouted up. The Nullifier was coming out, and in the second he saw the projectile flying towards him, he pressed the BKB and just got over time. If he catched the Nullifier there on the Razor, they would have completely won the fight. Instead, they get out of it with a bruising. They managed to snag the gem away from the Earth Spirit because one brought out Solo killed him. Undershock.
Yeah, they're wrapping around here. They're going to find Tiny at least. Oh, the Force Staff not enough. So he's dead for 70 with no buyback, actually. So Razor's still 30 seconds before he's up. But can they make a play with this now?
Yeah, you can't really transition into any pushes because guess what? There's a Nature's Prophet. He's top, he's bottom, he's everywhere. You really only have that mid lane to rely upon. I think the play for FlyToMoon is to push out to the side lanes as much as possible without getting caught, and just straight and go down the mid lane and just try your best with your Beastmaster. This Rax is sitting on 20 HP, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, that's a good point. And so for the sake of FTM, don't wait too long here. Once again, everyone is up. Chaos Knight, we saw this before. This is the same exact thing. And he's going to get picked off. Rubik's nearby, but what is a lone Rubik going to do? And now Rubik has to be careful. Silence goes down, no surprise. Always want to fly. Oh, he manages to TP out just in time. But, like, literally, that was deja vu right there. We saw that 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's the exact same movement for the 3rd time. We saw it once top, we saw it 2 times at the bottom lane. It keeps happening, and this pretty much like they have to adjust to this. And this is Vega playing so well; they're so far behind. But Nature's Prophet forces the team to really, split up, and then just do pincer movements on the CK. It worked 3 times now. They have 40 seconds, and this is also no buyback, so they might as well do some chip damage on Taz and whatnot. Well, they lose Slayer, but that is to be expected.
Yeah, well, good patience there, by the way, from Iceberg. He was delaying that whole time, killing him. allowing Bounty Hunter to come over and apply the track
Warriors
first
of the wood.
before he actually killed him.
Yeah, that was a good move. I mean,
Radiant's
it's
bottom
not like he
tower
can run
is
away.
under
He
attack.
just, he even gave the gem away, so he's now sitting at 1,200 net worth on Slayer. I guess he has a magic wand that qualifies as a core item for him at this point, I would say.
Yeah, we'll go with that, sure.
Yeah,
Circle Life is real.
it's a sad game for the Witch Doctor. It's a sad game for all supports, actually, because both sides just have so much kill potential. Nature's Prophet, Blizzard's just turning around, hitting a support twice, he's dead. Same goes with the Salt for FlyToMoon. They have a CK and the Razors, and the Beastmaster who's insanely farmed, so yeah, not a supports game.
So Roshan's up in a couple seconds here. In fact, he just respawned. Remember, this is the third Roshan now, so Refresher Shard to come. So maybe again, they say fly to the moon. It's that's an opportunity with the way they're dominating the map control, and take out that and then use that to push. It seems like that's pretty much the play, but for now, they continue to be fairly spread out. Razor pushing out bottom with Bounty Hunter nearby. As we see, though, the Dire team, they're heading out towards the top, seeing if they could have caught anybody, but no, Beastmaster and CK, the ones that are hiding themselves. Yeah, I mean, the Radiant side, they continue to play as if they're almost like behind, and they're trying to win by split pushing, which, with their lineup, just, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it, but it really just doesn't make sense. I'm almost at a loss here as far as the strategy, what they're thinking.
I think if it's Vega, they're doing everything right. Like, this is the best you can do if you're behind against the Bounty Hunter, and FlyToMoon, they're not really finding pickups with the Beastmaster, and split push is just not working against the Nature's Prophet. In fact, they might set up for a fight here in the Rage Pit, but both lanes are pushing in against them once more, so commit somebody back at home soon.
I mean, they have to make a play with this, right? This is going to be an Aegis, a Cheese, a Refresher. Like, you have to push base.
At least you will try.
Sun has fallen to the Radiant.
Everything to Razor. Refresher Shard at Aegis. Might catch Undershock, but oh, the Ravage Sun.
Yeah, so you mentioned Razor. He not only gets the Aegis, but he got the Refresher Shard there, too. That's what I was going to ask. I mean, is there an obvious candidate this game for the Refresher Shard? So, double
Stalin would have benefited on the Chaos Knight, but on the other hand, he's getting killed off so quickly in those fights that you really don't need two Phantasms, especially if you just hit it with like a low health pool. But you see, they just took the Aegis. They didn't get a pick off, but almost, and now they're splitting up again because they have to push out his lanes. There's so much pressure. I know Blizzy must feel really comfortable in this game. He's just, yeah, I'm gonna TP you there and I'm gonna force you to go there. He's messing with them so much in this game.
Oh yeah, he's the only reason that Vega Squadron is actually having a chance here, it feels like, with his presence this game. And Terrorblade he's almost got his full butterfly now. This is, I have Scotty, Hurricane Pike, Butterfly, Mantis Style. This is actually now a very farmed Terrorblade that will be deadly in the upcoming fights. In fact, you look at the overall net worth and farm of heroes, he's basically tied now with the Beastmaster as well as a Razor, just about caught up to him. So this is now goes back to Fly to the Moon, and are they waiting too long? I mean, overall, I understand they have a 20,000 net worth lead, but again, that's skewed mainly with the supports, especially with the Bounty Hunter and all the track kills coming out. But a Terrorblade is very scary. Goes without saying, comes to the late game, and now he's not full inventory yet, but he is getting there. So a bit of a window, perhaps, for FTM.
They have a bit of a window. They still have a phenomenal lead.
Dire's bottom
But it's
tower
mostly,
is under
yeah,
attack.
Nature's Prophet is catching up as well. They have the
Dire's
advantage of
bottom
having
tower
one more
has
core
fallen.
with this Beastmaster transitioning
Radiant's
into a
middle
physical
tower is
damage
under
carry,
attack.
actually. Just look what they're doing. They just,
Radiant's
there we go,
middle
Reflection
tower
is the
has
thing.
fallen.
This is what we've been waiting for a bit now. Reflection, stalling it a little bit. Out comes the Avalanche. Razor on the back line's going to pop the BKB. Here we go. Nangrata, he's trapped up at the Sprouts currently. But Razor's just running after Tiny, going to beat him down with all that stolen damage. 271 to be exact. And he is tearing up the Dire side. There's a triple kill. 3 buybacks, though. As a result, Razor couldn't go down here. Remember, he had the Aegis. Going to come right back up. So as a Refresher Shard, by the way, he does know that in his inventory. Can they save him? 4 staff away for now. Earth Spirit so far, the only one staying dead. They kill the Rax, of course. They got what they came for in a lot of ways. Silently, he pops BKP. The Rampage right, Iceberg. And he's going to take out Terrorblade as well. It's just absolute domination here in the bottom push. And there we go. GG, well played. I mean, they won it in the end. So definitely big congratulations to Fly to the Moon. But go back, it almost does feel like they could have done that a little bit sooner.
Yeah,
hey.
they finally had enough of this stuff from the HS Pro villagers. I guess we just run up higher and let's not lose a CK for once and just breaking them.
So fly to the moon. They're going to the epicenter. Main event, of course, the big thing with this being the CIS region. This is it's held in Kiev, actually, so I'm sure they're extra excited for that reason. You also had a couple of the invited teams, both Virtus.pro and Na'Vi, going. So CIS going to be well represented at this StarLadder I-League Invitational season number 5 here, and the main event that is. But fly to the moon, victorious over Vega Squadron, 2-0. Congratulations to them. Very well deserved here, Bottom.
Yeah, I would say they showed phenomenal strength in this fight. Just like the occasional CK hiccup.
I'm actually trying to find out now if we're... So we are going to be going to the European region. As mentioned, the European finals of what will be Mad Lads versus Team Kingwin. The thing with that, though, is I was told it would be after this one finishes. Now, because obviously this one was a 2-0, finishing a little bit earlier on, the default time was set for 1 p.m. Eastern or 1900 Central European time, which is in about just over an hour from now. So I'll get some confirmation for you guys, try to figure out exactly what the deal is. But we should have Kingwin versus Mad Lads as our next series yet to come here. And again, just a matter of when exactly, within the hour at the very least, it will be happening. But that's going to be a fun finals in itself. Like I said, Kingwin, potentially the favorite, sure, but Mad Lads, a solid squad, kind of a newer squad. We'll see, will this be their breakout for this minor event here? So, excited for that one, Potom?
Yeah, definitely excited. I want to see my voice under in, but I gotta say, I feel like Kingwin is the definite favorite.
Yeah. Would agree with you there. All right, so we're going to go on the break, guys. Stay tuned on BreakyCPK, joined by Potom. We got our European finals now to come. Mad Lads versus Team Kingwin. And another best out of 3. Again, I'll keep you guys updated in terms of when exactly that should be happening. We'll see you guys soon.